The General Atomics MQ-9 Reaper, sometimes called Predator B, is an unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, capable of remotely controlled or autonomous flight operations, developed by General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, GAACI, primarily for the United States Air Force, U.S. Air Force. The MQ-9 and other UAVs are referred to as Remotely Piloted Vehicles/Aircraft, RPV/RPA, by the U.S. Air Force to indicate their human ground controllers. The MQ-9 is the first hunter-killer UAV designed for long-endurance, high-altitude surveillance. In 2006, the then Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force General T. Michael Mosley said, "We've moved from using UAVs primarily in intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance roles before Operation Iraqi Freedom, to a true hunter-killer role with the Reaper." The MQ-9 is a larger, heavier, and more capable aircraft than the earlier General Atomics MQ-1 Predator. It can be controlled by the same ground systems used to control MQ-1s. The Reaper has a 950 shaft horsepower, 712 kilowatts, turboprop engine, compared to the Predator's 115 HP, 86 kilowatts, piston engine. The greater power allows the Reaper to carry 15 times more ordnance payload and cruise at about 3 times the speed of the MQ-1. The aircraft is monitored and controlled by aircrew in the Ground Control Station, GCS, including weapons employment. In 2008, the New York Air National Guard 174th Attack Wing began the transition from F-16 piloted fighters to MQ-9 Reapers, becoming the first fighter unit to convert entirely to Unmanned Combat Aerial Vehicle, UCAV, use. In March 2011, the U.S. Air Force was training more pilots for advanced unmanned aerial vehicles than for any other single weapons system. The Reaper is also used by the United States Navy, the CIA, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, NASA, and the militaries of several other countries. The U.S. Air Force plans to keep the MQ-9 in service into the 2030s. Development. Origins. General Atomics began development with the Predator B001, a proof-of-concept aircraft, which first flew on February 2, 2001. Abraham Karam is the designer of the Predator. The B001 was powered by an Allied Signal Garrett TPE-33110T turboprop engine with 950 shaft horsepower, 710 kilowatts. It had an airframe that was based on the standard Predator airframe, except with an enlarged fuselage and wings lengthened from 48 feet, 15 m, to 66 feet, 20 m. The B001 had a speed of 220 knots, 410 km per hour, 250 miles per hour, and could carry a payload of 750 pounds, 340 kilograms, to an altitude of 50,000 feet, 15,000 m, with an endurance of 30 hours. The company refined the design, taking it in 2 separate directions. The first was a jet-powered version. Predator B002 was fitted with a Williams FJ4428 turbofan engine with 10.2 kN, 2,300 lbf, 1,040 kgf, thrust. It had payload capacity of 475 pounds, 215 kilograms, a ceiling of 60,000 feet, 18 kilometers, and endurance of 12 hours. The U.S. Air Force ordered 2 airframes for evaluation, delivered in 2007. The first 2 airframes delivered with prototypes B001 and B002, now in the U.S. Air Force Museum at Wright-Patterson AFB. B002 was originally equipped with the FJ44 engine, but it was removed and a TPE-331-10T was installed so that the U.S. Air Force could take delivery of 2 aircraft in the same configuration. The second direction the design took was the Predator B003, referred to by GA as the Altair, which has a new airframe with an 84-foot, 26 m, wingspan and a takeoff weight of approximately 7,000 pounds, 3,200 kilograms. Like the Predator B001, it is powered by a TPE-331-10 YGD turboprop. This variant has a payload capacity of 3,000 pounds, 1,400 kilograms, a maximum ceiling of 52,000 feet, 16 kilometers, and an endurance of 36 hours. In October 2001, the U.S. Air Force signed a contract for an initial pair of Predator BS-001 and 002, for evaluation. Designated YMQ-9S due to their prototype role, they were delivered in 2002. The U.S. Air Force referred to it as Predator B until it was renamed Reaper. The U.S. Air Force aimed for the Predator B to provide an improved deadly persistence capability, flying over a combat area night and day waiting for a target to present itself, complementing piloted attack aircraft, typically used to drop larger quantities of ordnance on a target, while a cheaper RPV can operate almost continuously using ground controllers working in shifts, but carrying less ordnance. Operation. Operators, stationed at bases such as Creech Air Force Base, near Las Vegas, can hunt for targets and observe terrain using multiple sensors, including a thermographic camera. One claim was that the onboard camera is able to read a license plate from 2 miles, 3.2 kilometers, away. An operator's command takes 1.2 seconds to reach the drone via a satellite link. The MQ-9 is fitted with 6 stores pylons. The inner stores pylons can carry a maximum of 1,500 pounds, 680 kilograms, each and allow carriage of external fuel tanks. The mid-wing stores pylons can carry a maximum of 600 pounds, 270 kilograms, each, while the outer stores pylons can carry a maximum of 200 pounds, 91 kilograms, each. An MQ-9 with two 1,000 pounds, 450 kilograms, external fuel tanks and 1,000 pounds of munitions has an endurance of 42 hours. The Reaper has an endurance of 14 hours when fully loaded with munitions. The MQ-9 carries a variety of weapons including the GBU-12 Paveway 2 laser-guided bomb, the AGM-114 Hellfire 2 air-to-ground missiles, the AIM-9 Sidewinder, and the GBU-38 JDAM, Joint Direct Attack Munition. Tests are underway to allow for the addition of the AIM-92 Stinger air-to-air missile. By October 2007, the U.S. Air Force owned 9 Reapers, and by December 2010 had 57 with plans to buy another 272, for a total of 329 Reapers. Critics have stated that the U.S. Air Force's insistence on qualified pilots flying RPVs is a bottleneck to expanding deployment. U.S. Air Force Major General William Rue stated on August 5, 2008, "For the way we fly them right now, fully integrated into air operations and often flying missions alongside manned aircraft, we want pilots to fly them." This reportedly has exacerbated losses of U.S. Air Force aircraft in comparison with U.S. Army operations. In March 2011, U.S. Department of Defense Secretary Robert Gates stated that, while manned aircraft are needed, the U.S. Air Force must recognize the enormous strategic and cultural implications of the vast expansion in remotely piloted vehicles. And stated that as the service buys manned fighters and bombers, it must give equal weight to unmanned drones and the service's important role in the cyber and space domains. In 2013, the Air Force Special Operations Command, AFSOC, sought the ability to pack up an MQ-9 in less than 8 hours, fly it anywhere in the world aboard a C-17 Globemaster III, and then have it ready to fly in another 8 hours to support special operations teams at places with no infrastructure. MQ-1 and MQ-9 drones must fly aboard cargo aircraft to travel long distances as they lack the refueling technology or speed to travel themselves. The C-17 is large enough to carry the aircraft and support systems and can land on short runways. Pilots traveling with the Reaper will use the ground control station to launch and land the aircraft, while most of the flying will be done by US-based pilots. Testbed and upgrades. In November 2012, Raytheon completed ground verification tests for the ADM-160 MALD and MALD-J for integration onto the Reaper for an unmanned suppression of enemy air defenses capability. On April 12, 2013, a company-owned MQ-9 equipped with a jamming pod and digital receiver/exciter successfully demonstrated its electronic warfare capability at Marine Corps Air Station, MCAS, Yuma, performing its mission in coordination with over 20 participating aircraft. A second electronic warfare test, fitted with the Northrop Grumman Pandora EU system, was conducted on October 22, 2013 with other unmanned aircraft and Northrop Grumman EA-6B Prowlers, showing effectiveness in a multi-node approach against a more capable IADS. In 2011, the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, MDA, reported its interest in using the Reaper and its MTSB sensor to provide firing quality data for early interception of ballistic missile launches. The MDA is exploring concepts to use the UAV's EO/IR sensor to achieve launch-on-remote capabilities with missile interceptors before detection by Aegis radars. At least 2 aircraft would be needed to triangulate a target to provide high-fidelity data. The MTSB includes short and mid-wave IR bands, optimal for tracking launch and rocket burn. In 2013, the MDA terminated plans to build a follow-on to the 2 orbiting space tracking and surveillance system, STSS, satellites due to near-term costs, opting to continue testing the Reaper for ballistic missile target discrimination. The MDA planned to test the improved MTSC sensor, which adds a long-wave IR detector optimized for tracking cold bodies such as missiles and warheads after booster burnout, or plumes and exhaust. The goal is to use data from multiple high-flying UAVs to provide an off-board cue to launch an SM-3 missile from an Aegis ship. 2 Reapers demonstrated their ability to track ballistic missiles using their MTSB EO/IR turret during a test in late June 2016. In June 2015, a study by the U.S. Air Force Scientific Advisory Board identified several improvements for operating the Reaper in contested airspace. Adding readily available sensors, weapons, and threat detection and countermeasures could increase situational awareness and enable riskier deployments. Suggestions included a radar warning receiver, RWR, to know when it's being targeted, air-to-air and miniature air-to-ground weapons, manned-unmanned teaming, multi-UAV control, automatic takeoffs and landings, and precision navigation and timing systems to fly in GPS-denied areas. Another idea was redesigned ground control stations with user-friendly video game-like controllers and touchscreen maps to access data without overwhelming operators. In October 2015, Air Force Deputy Chief of Staff for ISR Robert Otto suggested redesigning the MQ-9 SGCS to be operated by 1 person for most missions rather than 2, to fly and work the sensors, to simplify operations and reduce manpower requirements by hundreds of sensor operators. Introducing an auto-land capability would also reduce the Reaper's manpower requirements to staff launch and recovery teams. Automatic takeoff and landing capabilities are already present in the RQ-4 Global Hawk and MQ-1C Grey Eagle, and are planned to be provided to the MQ-9 in 2017. The Air Force requires the manually loaded Reaper to operate from a runway at least 5,000 feet, 1.5 kilometers, long, but automated takeoffs and landings would enable it to operate from a 3,000 feet, 0.91 kilometers, runway. In April 2017, an MQ-9 Block 5 flew with a Raytheon ALR-69A RWR in its payload pod to demonstrate the aircraft's ability to conduct missions in the proximity of threat radars and air defenses, the first time this capability was demonstrated on a remotely piloted aircraft. Design. A typical MQ-9 system consists of multiple aircraft, ground control station, communications equipment, maintenance spares, and personnel. A military crew includes a pilot, sensor operator, and mission intelligence coordinator. The aircraft is powered by a 950 horsepower, 710 kilowatts, turboprop, with a maximum speed of about 260 knots, 480 kilometers per hour, 300 miles per hour, and a cruising speed of 150-170 knots, 170-200 mph, 283-10 km/h. With a 66 feet, 20 m, wingspan, and a maximum payload of 3,800 pounds, 1,700 kilograms, the MQ-9 can be armed with a variety of weaponry, including Hellfire missiles and 500 lb laser-guided bomb units. Endurance is 30 hours when conducting ISR missions, which decreases to 23 hours if it is carrying a full weapons load. The Reaper has a range of 1,000 nmi, 1,150 miles, 1,850 kilometers, and an operational altitude of 50,000 feet, 15,000 m, which makes it especially useful for long-term loitering operations, both for surveillance and support of ground troops. The Predator and Reaper were designed for military operations and not intended to operate among crowded airline traffic. The aircraft typically lack systems capable of complying with FAA CAN-avoid regulations. On May 18, 2006, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, issued a Certificate of Authorization allowing MQ-1 and MQ-9 UAVs to fly in U.S. civil airspace to search for survivors of disasters. In 2005, requests were made for MQ-9s to be used in search and rescue operations following Hurricane Katrina, but, as there was no FAA authorization in place at the time, it was not used. An MQ-9 can adopt various mission kits and combinations of weapons and sensors payloads to meet combat requirements. Its Raytheon and AAS-52 multispectral targeting sensor suite includes a color/monochrome daylight TV, infrared, and image-intensified TV with laser rangefinder/laser designator to designate targets for laser-guided munitions. The aircraft is also equipped with the Lynx multi-mode radar that contains synthetic aperture radar, SAR, that can operate in both spotlight and strip modes, and ground moving target indication, GMTI, with dismount moving target indicator, DMTI, and maritime wide area search, MWAS, capabilities. The Reaper was used as a test bed for Gorgon Stare, a wide area surveillance sensor system. Increment 1 of the system was first fielded in March 2011 on the Reaper and could cover an area of 16 square kilometers, 6.2 square miles. Increment 2, incorporating Arguses and expanding the coverage area to 100 square kilometers, 39 square miles, achieved initial operating capability, IOC, in early 2014. The system has 368 cameras capable of capturing 5 million pixels each to create an image of about 1.8 billion pixels. Video is collected at 12 frames per second, producing several terabytes of data per minute. In January 2012, General Atomics released a new trailing arm design for the Reaper's main landing gear. Benefits include an over 30% increase in landing weight capacity, a 12% increase in gross takeoff weight, from 10,500 pounds, 4,800 kilograms, to 11,700 pounds, 5,300 kilograms, a maintenance-free shock absorber, eliminating the need for nitrogen pressurization, a fully rejected takeoff brake system, and provisions for automatic takeoff and landing capability and anti-lock brake system. ABS, field upgrades. In April 2012, General Atomics announced possible upgrades to U.S. Air Force Reapers, including 2 extra 100 U.S. gallons, 380 liters, fuel pods under the wings to increase endurance to 37 hours. The wingspan can also be increased to 88 feet, 27 m, increasing endurance to 42 hours. The U.S. Air Force has bought 38 Reaper Extended Range, ER, versions, carrying external fuel tanks, which don't affect weapon capacity, the heavyweight landing gear, a 4-bladed propeller, a new fuel management system which ensures fuel and thermal balance among external tank, wing, and fuselage fuel sources, and an alcohol water injection, AWI, system to shorten required runway takeoff length. These features increase endurance from 27 to 35 hours, while the company is still pitching the lengthened wing option. The Reaper ER first flew operationally in August 2015. The aircraft also has the sensor ball replaced with a high-definition camera, better communications so ground controllers can see the higher quality video, software to enable automatic detection of threats and tracking of 12 moving targets at once, and the ability to super ripple fire missiles within 0.32 seconds of each other. On February 25, 2016, General Atomics announced a successful test flight of the new Predator B/ER version. This new version has had the wingspan extended to 79 feet, increasing its endurance to 40 hours. Other improvements include short field takeoff and landing performance and spoilers on the wings which enable precision automatic landings. The wings also have provisions for leading-edge DAIS and integrated low and high-band RF antennas. Operational history. U.S. Air Force. On May 1, 2007, the U.S. Air Force 432D Wing was activated to operate MQ-9 Reaper as well as MQ-1 Predator UAVs at Creech Air Force Base, Nevada. The pilots first conducted combat missions in Iraq and Afghanistan in the summer of 2007. On October 28, 2007, the Air Force Times reported an MQ-9 had achieved its first kill, successfully firing a Hellfire missile against Afghanistan insurgents in the Darawood region of the mountainous Oruzgan province. By March 6, 2008, according to U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General Gary North, the Reaper had attacked 16 targets in Afghanistan using 500 pounds, 230 kilograms, bombs and Hellfire missiles. On July 17, 2008, the U.S. Air Force began flying Reaper missions within Iraq from Balad Air Base. It was reported on August 11, 2008 that the 174th Fighter Wing would consist entirely of Reapers. By March 2009 the U.S. Air Force had 28 operational Reapers. Beginning in September 2009, Reapers were deployed by the Africa Command to the Seychelles Islands for use in Indian Ocean anti-piracy patrols. On September 13, 2009, positive control of an MQ-9 was lost during a combat mission over Afghanistan, after which the control-less drone started flying towards the Afghan border with Tajikistan. An F-15E Strike Eagle shot it down with an AIM-9 missile. It was the first U.S. drone to be destroyed intentionally by Allied forces. By July 2010, 38 Predators and Reapers had been lost during combat operations in Afghanistan and Iraq, another 9 were lost in training missions in the U.S. In 2010, the U.S. Air Force conducted over 33,000 close air support missions, a more than 20% increase compared with 2009. By March 2011, the U.S. Air Force had 48 Predator and Reaper combat air patrols flying in Iraq and Afghanistan compared with 18 in 2007. As of March 2011, the U.S. Air Force was training more pilots for advanced unmanned aerial vehicles than for any other single weapons system. In 2012, the Reaper, Predator and Global Hawk were described as the most accident-prone aircraft in the Air Force fleet. These figures must be taken with caution due to the aircraft's nature, often performing hostile or dangerous missions. In October 2011, the U.S. Air Force began operating Reapers out of Arba Minch in Ethiopia for surveillance-only operations in Somalia. In 2012, both Reapers and Predators were deployed in Benghazi, Libya after the attack that killed the U.S. ambassador in that city. In February 2013, the U.S. stationed a Predator at Niamey to provide intelligence for French forces during Operation Serval in Mali. It was later replaced by 2 MQ-9 Reapers. In April 2013, one of these Reapers crashed on a surveillance flight due to mechanical failure. On October 22, 2013, the U.S. Air Force fleets of MQ-1 Predator and MQ-9 Reaper UAVs reached 2 million flight hours. The RPA program began in the mid-1990s, taking 16 years for them to reach 1 million flight hours. The 2 million hour mark was reached just 2.5 years later. The high demand for UAVs has caused Air Combat Command to increase pilot output from 188 in 2015 to 300 in 2017 at Holloman. On November 13, 2015, the Pentagon reported that an MQ-9 had killed ISIL member Mohammed Emwazi, popularly known as Jihadi John, who was responsible for executing several Western prisoners. In 2015, a record number, 20, of Air Force drones crashed. Working with engineers from General Atomics, investigators identified 3 parts of the starter generator that were susceptible to breakdowns. But they could not determine why they were failing. Colonel William S. Leister informed Pentagon officials that investigators from the Air Force, General Atomics, and Skirka had investigated the problem for more than a year. The team, he said, had identified numerous manufacturing quality issues yet had been unable to determine the exact cause of the failures. On October 2, 2017, U.S. Central Command stated that a MQ-9 had been shot down by Houthi air defense systems over Sana'a in western Yemen the previous day. The aircraft took off from Chabali Airport in Djibouti, and was armed. NASA initially expressed interest in a production version of the B002 turbofan-powered variant, but instead leased an unarmed Reaper variant, which carries the GAACI company name Altair. Altair is one of the first 3 Predator B airframes. The other 2 airframes, known as Predator B001 and Predator B002, had a maximum gross weight of 7,500 pounds, 3,400 kilograms. Altair differs from these models in that it has an 86-foot, 26 m, long wingspan, 20 foot, 6.1 m, greater than early and current MQ-9s. The Altair has enhanced avionics systems to better enable flights in FAA-controlled civil airspace and demonstrate over-the-horizon command and control capability from a ground station. These aircraft are used by NASA's Earth Science Enterprise as part of the NASA IRIST program to perform on-location science missions. In November 2006, NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center obtained an MQ-9, and Mobile Ground Control Station, named ICONA, for the suborbital science program within the Science Mission Directorate. In 2007, INA was used to survey the Southern California wildfires, supporting firefighter deployments based upon the highest need. The California Office of Emergency Services had requested NASA support for the Esperanza fire, and the General Atomics Altair was launched less than 24 hours later on a 16-hour mission to map the fire's perimeter. The fire mapping research is a joint project with NASA and the U.S. Forest Service. The NASA ICONA was used to survey the descent of the Orion Exploration Flight Test 1, EFT-1, module on its first test mission December 5, 2014. The aircraft loitered at 27,000 feet, 8,200 m, used its IR camera to detect the capsule, then switched to the optical camera to observe its descent through parachute deployment and landing in the Pacific Ocean. U.S. Homeland Security, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, operated 9 MQ-9s in August 2012. 2 were based in North Dakota at Grand Forks Air Force Base, 4 were based in Arizona, at Fort Huachuca, and 1 was based at the Naval Air Station Corpus Christi, Texas. These aircraft were equipped with GAACI's Lynx synthetic aperture radar and Raytheon's MTSB electro-optical infrared sensors. CBP also had 2 maritime MQ-9s called Guardians, based at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, Florida, and Naval Air Station Corpus Christi, Texas. The Guardians were equipped with the Sivu Marine Search Radar. Their electro-optical infrared sensor was optimized for maritime operations. The CBP operates 1 MQ-9 Guardian jointly with the U.S. Coast Guard out of land-based stations in Florida and Texas. The United States Department of Homeland Security initially ordered 1 Predator B for border protection duty, referred to as MQ-9 CBP-101. It began operations October 4, 2005 and crashed in the Arizona desert on April 25, 2006. The NTSB determined that the crash's cause most likely pilot error by the ground-based pilot, inadvertently shutting down the UAV's engine by failing to follow the checklist. During its operational period, the aircraft flew 959 hours on patrol and had a part in 2,309 arrests. It also contributed to the seizure of 4 vehicles and 8,267 pounds, 3,750 kilograms, of marijuana. A second Predator B, called CBP-104, initially referred to as CBP-102, was delivered in September 2006 and commenced limited border protection operations on October 18, 2006. The President's FY 2006 emergency supplemental budget request added $45 million for the program, and the FY 2007 Homeland Security Appropriations Bill added an additional $20 million. In October 2006, GAACI announced a $33.9 million contract to supply 2 more Predator B systems by the fall of 2007. On February 16, 2009, the program was further expanded to include patrols of the Canada-US border. On October 14, 2013, an MQ-9 began patrolling the Manitoba portion of the U.S. Canada border. The UAV is based at Grand Forks Air Force Base and will watch the 400 km (250 miles) long border. The drone will not carry weapons and needs permission to enter Canadian airspace. U.S. authorities fear that drug smugglers, migrants, and terrorists may exploit the long border. The use of the unmanned surveillance aircraft is an enhancement of the partnership between U.S. and Canadian agencies. In January 2014, Customs and Border Protection grounded its UAVs temporarily after an unmanned aircraft was ditched off the Californian coast by the operator due to a mechanical failure on January 27, 2014. Other users. Australia. In September 2006, the General Atomics Mariner demonstrator aircraft was operated by the Australian Defence Science and Technology Organisation, DSTO, in an exercise designed to evaluate the aircraft's ability to aid in efforts to stem illegal fishing, drug running and illegal immigration. The Mariner operated from RAF bases Edinburgh, South Australia, and Learmonth, Western Australia in conjunction with a Royal Australian Navy Armidale-class patrol boat, the Joint Offshore Protection Command and the Pilbara Regiment. In February 2015, it was announced that 6 RAF personnel have been sent to Holloman AFB in New Mexico and Creech AFB in Nevada to undergo training. In August 2015, it was revealed that Australians had begun flying MQ-9s over Syria, the first time Australia expanded operations past Iraq during the military intervention against the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. 5 RAF personnel were embedded with the U.S. Air Force 432D Operations Group, which flies Armed Reapers, performing operational duties with the unit as MQ-9 system pilots and sensor operators. Dominican Republic. The Predator UAV Guardian has been used by the Dominican Republic, under U.S. supervision and funding, against drug trafficking from mid-2012. France. On May 31, 2013, French Defense Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian confirmed the order of 2 MQ-9 Reapers, to be delivered by the end of 2013. It was chosen to replace the Eads Harfang and was picked over the Israeli Heron TP. On June 27, 2013, the U.S. Defense Security Cooperation Agency notified Congress of a possible foreign military sale to France for 16 unarmed MQ-9s, associated equipment, ground control hardware, and support, worth up to $1.5 billion total. On August 26, 2013, France and the U.S. Department of Defense concluded the deal for 16 Reapers and 8 ground control stations, with French operators beginning training. On September 24, 2013, France's first pair of MQ-9 pilots conducted a 2-hour training sortie at Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico. Both French pilots had prior UAV experience, and went through a 5-week ground-based training course and 5 hours on a flight simulator before the first flight. 2 additional crews were also receiving instruction at the facility. General Atomics is due to deliver 2 Reapers and 1 ground control station to the French Air Force by the end of 2013. On November 26, 2013, France declared that 6 pilots and 3 teams were operational, following 100 hours on flight simulators and 4 flights. French MQ-9s were first put into action in January 2014 at Niamey Air Base in Niger for border reconnaissance in the Sahel Desert. On January 16, 2014, France's first MQ-9 flight occurred from Niger. The first 2 Reapers to enter French service are designated Block 1 and use U.S. equipment. Further orders are to be modified with European payloads such as sensors and data links. On March 31, 2014, French Air Force Reapers accumulated 500 flight hours in support of Operation Serval. In July 2014, a French MQ-9 was reportedly helping to locate the wreckage of a crashed airplane in Mali. Germany. Germany made a request to purchase 5 Reapers and 4 ground control stations, plus related support material and training. The request, being made through the foreign military sales process, was presented to Congress through the Defense Security Cooperation Agency on August 1, 2008 and is valued at $205 million. However, Germany did not go through with this procurement for the time being and decided to lease the IAI Heron offered by IAI and Rheinmetall instead, initially for the duration of 1 year, representing a stopgap measure before a long-term decision on a mail system is being made. Italy. On August 1, 2008, Italy submitted a FMS request through the Defense Security Cooperation Agency for 4 aircraft, 4 ground stations and 5 years of maintenance support, all valued at $330 million. Italy ordered 2 more aircraft in November 2009. On May 30, 2012, it was reported that the U.S. planned to sell kits to arm Italy's 6 Reapers with Hellfire missiles and laser-guided bombs. However, General Alberto Rosso has expressed frustration at American delays in integrating additional weapons onto the platform and suggested that Italy may have to seek UAS alternatives. Italian Reapers were used in Libya since August 10, 2011, as part of its contribution to NATO's Operation Unified Protector, flew about 300 hours. In Kosovo, since March 13, 2012 inbound NATO KFOR Joint Enterprise Operation. On Mare Nostrum mission, Mediterranean Sea Migrants Search and Rescue Operation, by October 2013. Into Afghanistan theater by January 2014. To replace Predator A+. On November 3, 2015, the U.S. approved a deal covering weapons integration onto Italy's Reaper aircraft, which would make it the first country outside the UK to weaponize the drone. The potential for increased contribution to NATO coalition operations, improved operational flexibility, and enhanced survivability for Italian forces prompted the request. Netherlands. On June 19, 2013, General Atomics and Fokker Technologies signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, to offer the MQ-9 Reaper to the Dutch government for their need of a medium-altitude long-endurance, MALE, UAV. The MOU recognizes that Fokker will assist in maintenance and support of the aircraft in the Netherlands if a deal goes.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.